What's up, YouTube? Um, so I look pretty bummy right now. It's the morning. Just got out of the shower. Don't hate a playa, alright? I'm using the microphone just because my roommate might be still sleeping, so, yeah. So, based on the title of this video, I'm sure you probably know what it's about. Not to hate on those who just haven't got it figured out yet. And, fuck, I look terrible. And, what I mean by this is just like, I feel like sometimes people get into the mindset of like, I'm gonna surround myself with others who motivate me, and so I was at a big breath. I'm gonna surround myself with others who motivate me and like, what's the word? Have or share the same goals as me. And I think that's obviously great in terms of like your career path and like what you actually want to like pursue as your main source of like income that actually will like provide you with the needs to survive in life. Like, that's something I think you should care about. But in everything else, man, like, I think it's okay to have friends who are maybe not as motivated in that sense, but like can have some very good human people skills that are just awesome to be around. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes there's this guy I used to work with, and he was like 22 or so. So at the time, I think he was like 5 or 6 years older than me. But it was kind of weird because he was working at like a part-time job place, and he didn't have the most money, but I just loved talking to him, you know what I mean? Like, we had so much to talk about. Just, he went through a lot of experiences at a younger age, and, but he was just a real guy, and I know he wanted change for something better. It's just, sometimes life isn't where it's at, and that was just his case. It just, maybe dealt a bad hand in life, and now he's got to recover from that. But even though it's like, yeah, sure, he wasn't like going to the gym all the time and going to doing his own thing on entrepreneurship and chasing money or chasing girls, even though he didn't have that like Sigma, kind of build to them, he was just so nice to talk to, dude. Like, I just remember coming into work and being like, please work, please be working, because I just would have the best conversations. So I think yeah, it's okay to have that mindset here and there, but when it comes to actual people, you can't just shut out those who don't have a figure, especially at a young age. I feel like if you're like under 25, or even like maybe even under 23, that's acceptable. But that even goes like I feel like, yeah, like once you get to like 25, it's like, okay, you've been old enough to maybe, get a grip on your life. But at the same time, I feel like you can still make exceptions for others, because here's a good story. In my program, we had a guest speaker, and she lived in Winnipeg, and she was like a bartender until she was 30, and then she quit that and did carpentry for 10 years, and the carpentry was just such a rough job. She quit at 40. I think she took her motorcycle to Toronto or Ottawa, and then she like built her career building film sets. And then I think she mentioned that she was on the sets of like Suits and The Boys or something in Toronto, which is like pretty nuts. In 10 years she could grow that, and then now she's like really successful, and she's doing her own thing. But the thing is that if you were to meet her at 40 or something, when she was just doing carpentry, maybe living like a crappier lifestyle or something like that, which isn't bad, but still it's not like applicable to people who are chasing something, I guess, or like have that perfection mindset of like someone has to be like perfect for me to be friends with them, I guess. But if you were to meet her then, before she quit her job and came to Ontario, you could be like, oh my gosh, like she's just what is she doing with her life? So, and I'll get into that a bit more of what I just said, but like that's the thing, like people will say that because that guy I used to work with, you never know, he could have flipped his life around, and then now I'll be like, oh, like if I were to like not talk to him at work because he was just, I'm going too far into this, but yeah, exactly. Like people can flip their lives around within a year, so sometimes that wake-up call hits you at 16, sometimes it hits you at 20, but no matter what, dude, that wake-up call is going to feel the same for everyone else, because I see it like this. I see it like time, like the time that you were conscious of your like life. So for me, I feel like we kind of became conscious like this year. So let's say I became conscious at like 18. Like 18, I became more conscious of my life and what I actually want to do and what I'm capable of and what I have and what I don't have and etc. Like I just became like hyper conscious at 18. The time before I was 18 feels like a blur, but the time after I hit 18 feels like life, like I was actually like living, if that makes sense. Like not living like as in like doing fun things, but like living as in like I'm aware, right? I'm present. That's a good word. But if you were to take somebody who's like 30 years old, let's say they have wake up at 30, and everything after 30 they're like, okay, I'm awake, I'm conscious, I know what I want to do, I gotta do it, let's do it now. But before they're 30, it's probably also going to feel like a blur as well, because I think someone said time is measured by progress. Like if you make progress, it feels like time is slower, or like you can remember more because there's more like achievements along the way. But if you're just doing something day to day and there's no like new thing, then you have nothing to look back on, like as in like there's no achievements. Like let's say I'm not gonna fucking explain it, it's gonna take too long, but you guys get the point. Like that just means like there's just no achievements, so there's nothing to look back on. If there's nothing to look back on, it's a wasted memory, it's not important, your brain forgets about it, and then it's just time, it's past. So you kind of get what I'm saying, like everybody's wake up call hits them at a different age, but what I'll talk about as well is that you can find a lot of really, really cool people in like a shittier career, not to say any career's bad, but there are some ones that may not be the hardest of working or the smartest of people, but you can still meet, like your career doesn't define who you are. I kind of like figured it out myself, like even when I was working Sport Check at a local mall in the area, there's just like, even though it's like, okay, it's Sport Check, like why are these people here, that they're in their 20s, why are they working at Sport Check? That's like a really negative mindset where you kind of have to be like, okay, well, everybody's on their own journey. That's what I really like. I had a friend who told me that this weekend, and I just kind of like realized that I'm 18, I'm 19, I have this naive mindset that, I'm better than everyone, and that I have it figured out, so why don't they have it figured out? But it doesn't hit you till later, Or it doesn't hit you. Everyone doesn't wake up at 18, so maybe what I'm saying right now, because I really want, I try to be empathetic or very optimistic of others. And it's weird when I see like David Goggins, or I don't want to say Andrew Tate, but like guys like David Goggins who are like, man, like, brother, why don't you get that shit together? You know, why don't you get your life together? But you gotta realize, like, David Goggins was also like, I don't even know. Let's find this out, man. Okay, it doesn't matter, but I know David Goggins was like overweight and everything in his 20s, and then it just snapped and he made so much progress and he just did that shit, you know? So that's what you have to realize, like, it doesn't hit you right at a certain age. So it's just been a hard thing for me, especially just trying to accept, like, obviously accept others, but trying to understand why maybe that change hasn't happened. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a video. I'm gonna do some work on midterm today that I just haven't studied for because it was bullshit. But yeah, other than that, talk to you guys later.